Exxon rejects shareholder resolution that would have forced it to have a climate change plan. BP and Royal Dutch Shell have publicly acknowledged that the business has to evolve, but Exxon hasn't.
Here's a summary of the article.
Activist shareholders used ExxonMobil's annual meeting to renew their accusations that the company is failing to confront a future that may include stricter regulations to limit climate change caused by burning fossil fuels. A representative of the Church of England's endowment fund said Wednesday that Exxon has moved more slowly than other major oil companies to disclose information about emissions. Exxon successfully petitioned the Securities and Exchange Commission to block a shareholder vote on setting targets for reducing carbon emissions from burning oil and gas. Exxon, which is based in Irving, Texas, continues to project that demand for oil will grow nearly 1% a year, propelled by its use in transportation and chemicals, and Woods repeated a goal of doubling 2017 earnings by 2025. Edward Mason, representing the Church of England's fund, told shareholders that Exxon and investors have been in open conflict about climate strategy and disclosure. The Church of England and the New York State Comptroller were lead sponsors of a resolution that would have asked Exxon to set targets on emissions from burning oil and gas. Even though the measure failed, it attracted the most support ever at Exxon, which shows shareholders are dissatisfied with Exxon's governance and handling of climate risk, said New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli.
This post received a score of 8,031, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Didn't Exxon predict man-made climate change all the way back in the 80s and they concluded there would be a global catastrophe inside the 21st century? Why bother changing the plan this late in the game?
Especially when there is still so much money to be made while we have breathable air.
Can confirm we are fucking that up too.
Rolling coal. Those assholes deserve to be throat chopped.
Not saying it's not fucking stupid, but tiny stuff like that is insignificant.
It's more the symbolism of blatant disregard for our planet that gets me with those douchebags, so while their contribution might not be huge, I think a throat chop is warranted.
I worked with a guy that used to work for Exxon and he often talked about the Exxon mentality. He said that the culture when he worked there was very much whatever Exxon wants is correct and good for the rest of America and by extension the world. When asked, he said the company really didn't think about some sort of objective good or right, wrong or anything like that. He said there were many times when people just had blinders on, where they wouldn't even consider some other point of view at all. I'm not sure if that culture has changed or not.
This past weekend I met a guy whose brother is an engineer for Exxon. I asked him about the company culture, mentality around climate change, and it lines up with what you said. They just deny, ignore everything regarding climate change and pretend it doesn't exist. Fucking insanity.
Guess we should just nationalize Exxon and fire all of the rubes then.
Wait, what? Don't shareholders own the company? They get marching orders from the owners and management just says, lol, no, this is a big deal for anyone that supports the idea of corporations or capitalism. I get everyone wants to shit on Exxon for being irresponsible on climate and that's justified, but they're also acting corrupt and shareholders should vote in a new board.
Realistically, all the shareholders would have to band together, with a majority of votes, and vote in a new board that they chose who wanted to follow their plan. This means agreeing on a new board from millions of shareholders. Pretty unlikely. While technically this could happen, they would never get a majority vote because it would also tank the share value of the company and shareholders would also lose money.
Yeah, but you know what else loses shareholders money? Pulling a Kodak. If you're not willing to adapt to a changing reality, the world will, and should, leave you behind.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.